if you earn 30,000 Kenyan shillings at the end of the month, by the way, let me just say it in another currency for the sake of those who are watching me from outside the Kenya. See, 30,000 Kenyan shillings a month, that's like $300 or something of sort a month, okay? Okay, listen, even if you're earning 100,000, a million, Bob, apply the formula that I'm about to show, irrespective of the money that you earn, okay? So don't be like, okay, you're talking about the 30,000. No, no, no. Use the formula, then use that information to contextualize and apply it in the salary that you're earning, okay? I'm saying this, if you're earning 30,000 Kenya shillings at the end of the month, do not pay a rent that is worth 10,000 the similar month, all right? Let's get into the business before we do that, okay? And by the way, don't forget to make sure that you like the video and make sure that you subscribe to my channel, all right? Now, let's get into the business. There is something called the financial understanding, the financial principle, okay? Financial principles or financial, how should I call them? Like sort of financial routes or financial guidance that you're supposed to follow whenever you're making a money decision. See, what you're supposed to understand is this. There are some of the formulas and applications that we use the moment you are actually utilizing our money. And the one rule that we say or apply is when we say you aren't supposed to pay over 30% of your total salary that you earn per month in payment of your rent. Let me show you here, okay? So you find somebody is earning 30,000 at the end of the month, okay? Whatever the amount it is, whether dollars or whatever the thing it is, okay? Now you find this individual is paying 10,000 Kenyan shillings, okay? Per month, okay? Per month. That's what you're paying for your rent. Now, this individual, knowingly or unknowingly, the individual is actually violating that financial principles that I'm talking about, the percentage that you're supposed to apply. You remember there's a formula that is called 50, 30, and then 20% rule, okay? Some sort of like that, okay? Now, the point is this 50% is what, this is half of your salary. It is all talks about half of your what? Half of your salary. Half of your salary should go for your what? For the current expenditure, precisely what? Your normal usage, like your rent, your electricity, water bills, and what have you. Half of whatever you earn should go towards that. The 30% goes for your entertainment, go for your clothing, go for your, maybe if you are debt or something, all those kind of things. The 20% now, that goes for your investment. I talked about this formula and you can go check my older videos. I talked about it in an extensive way. Today we are talking about precisely what people do and they get themselves into what we call a sort of a financial, you know, they call themselves, should we call it hard rock and a stone or something or sort. Anyway, whatever the point is, okay? Now the point is, you see, find this individual is actually paying 10,000 per month and this individual is actually earning this amount of money. And then there you are, you're so astonished, you're asking yourself, when will I even develop? How will I even grow? I'm actually not realizing anything in terms of my savings. Joseph, I may not be able to save. Joseph, I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do because right now the situation that I'm, okay, the moment I tell you, do not pay over that do not pay 10,000 Kenyan shillings if you're earning this amount of money. Why? I said you are not supposed to pay over 30% of your salary per month towards what? Towards your rent. Now, the moment you pay 10,000 has already exceeded the 30,000. Let me do the calculation slowly. Okay, 10% of 30,000, 10% of 30K, 10% of 30K is how much? You're right, it is 3,000, okay? It is 3,000. So therefore, that means if it's 3,000, okay? Therefore, it means another 10% of it, it is another 3,000, okay? Another 10% of it, you see, I have to do this step by step for people to understand what it is, okay? I don't want to assume that you know what I'm doing, okay? Of this percent is actually another 3,000. What does that tell you? It tells you if you're on a salary of 30,000 at the end of the month, the maximum amount of money that you're supposed to spare for your rent is how much? You're right, it is 9,000. That is the maximum you're supposed to spare for your rent. It is 9,000. Now, this fellow of ours is at 10,000. Guess what happens? This is above 30%. The moment you cross this 30%, guess what happens now? Out of the 30,000 that you have, you're now remaining with 20,000. And guess what you're supposed to do with your 20,000? The 20,000 that you're remaining with, this is where you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to, deduct your food out there. You're supposed to deduct your utilities. Utilities here mean water, electricity, and what have you. This is where you're supposed to as well do the school fees. If you do have the children that are in school, this is where you're supposed to get your debt, perhaps maybe if you've got a debt, and probably because you've already violated the 10% principle or a 30% principle, probably you actually got this debt, and this debt was not for investment. You took this debt to actually fund the consumables. And Or maybe let's say you're a little bit smart. You took the debt to buy an asset, probably a land that you guys were so crazy about. Buying that land does not generate anything because people tell you, hey, this is how you create wealth. That land is not generating anything. You're actually being deducted some couple of $1,000. I mean, you get yourself into a financial crisis whereby you're like, I don't even know what to do. I cannot even do some farming in that land because I don't even have some money. That land is actually going away with my 10,000 or something of sort. In that process, now you're forced to borrow again for you to be able to fund the consumables and all those kind of. You can just imagine the kind of a mess that you can't be in. You find somebody is earning 30,000 and they have a debt of 300,000 and they're supposed to repay that amount of money. Can you imagine this? You're paying your house rent 10,000. Two, maybe let's say you're eating another 10,000. Okay, now you're at your 10,000. This 10,000 is what you're supposed to pay the school fees. You're supposed to pay your utilities and all those kind of things. Now at this particular point is where now you call yourself, or you are in a situation where we call it, you are in a rat race. Okay, you are in a rat race. Rat race, it means like you're just racing around the place, you're doing nothing, you're in a, we call it rabbit hole or rat race or whatever, hand to mouth, whatever you call it. You just find yourself in a cycles. The moment I come here and talk about investment, it's a language that you cannot resonate with. Why can't you resonate with? Because already you're some of the things that you're actually not doing it. Right? The moment you are on 30,000 Kenyan shillings, sometimes even thinking about getting a land, it is an amazing thing. I love lands. Most of us love, probably all of us love lands and we love investment. But let me tell you one thing, just bite that what you can swallow. Move with steps. First of all, work on your financial management before you even think about investment. I've ever found somebody who contacted me, they are on a financial crisis, meaning they are on an unhealthy debt, and at the same time they want us to talk about how to handle the debt and also the investment. There is no way you can solve the two things at the same time. I mean, there's no way you can achieve the two. For example, then I did ask the person, okay, how much do you, okay, have like, okay, the guy was having at least, I think it was around 700,000 Kenyan shillings as the debt, and the guy was having some savings of 450,000 somewhere savings. See, the guy is like saving on one hand, and the other hand is actually is on unhealthy debt. See, first of all, handle this debt, get yourself in a stable mentality, then therefore, or maybe you can get the money that you're having, instead of having it in a current account, you can invest it somewhere, help you to pay back the debt. So those are some of the things that you're supposed to do. So the moment now you buy this amount of money, so what you're supposed to do is you bring down what we call the expenditure. You bring down the recurrent expenditure. See, when you bring down, for example, if you can go ahead and bring down this rent to about 8,500. Okay, 8,500 around there. Okay, because I'm pretty sure there's a place you can live. But I know, ladies, they're about to develop emotions, and some guys here telling me, hey, do you want us to live in shanty towns? Do you want us to live in caves and all those kind of things? The moment you or someone tells you something, you know, don't attack them and ask them, hey, do you, okay, for example, if today, let's be sincere, if today I tell you, go live in a cave, for sure, I tell you, go live in a cave. For the next whole year, sacrifice you living in a cave or sleep outside. You're going to have an X amount of money, and that's the time now you sort of kick your poverty away. Would you be able to do that? Let me repeat my question. I'm asking you this. If today I tell you, go sacrifice, go live in a cave or live somewhere outside, that is the cost of you being successful. And by the next year, 2025, a time like this, I'm making this video, or whichever the time that you're watching this video, depends on when you're watching it, make sure that for the next 365 days, go live in a cave, go live outside somewhere, sacrifice yourself. And I'm telling you, after the 365 days, you're going to get out of that place wealthy and rich. Will you be able to do that? Probably going to say yes, and I know you've said yes. Now, the point is this, when I tell you, shake down, what do you call them? Bring down the expenditures. Now, for God's sake, now from 10K to 8,500, you've salvaged 1,500. You salvaged 1,500. Do you know how much is this at the end of the year? Take you 1,500, multiply by 12, you tell me how much is that. And this money you're not just putting in an idle account. It's not there in an idle account, it's an investment account. It is subjected to 13%, 14, 15% in an interest. How much would you be able to make at the end of the year? Well, I know that won't get you out of poverty, but the fact remains, if you can start a business with that amount of money, that is exactly how you do it. You see, this is what we say, take care of coins, notes will take care of themselves. Or in America, they call them bills, yeah? Take care of coins, bills will take care of themselves. That's a reality, that's what you do. Take care of minor things, major ones will take care of themselves. Now, the point is you want to, sort of make a big, see that. Now, the thing is, For example, let's try a little bit further. For example, say you earn 40,000 at the end of the month. If you earn 40,000 at the end of the month, 30% of 40,000 is 12,000. Am I right? 12,000, because it is 4 times 3, it's 12,000. So the maximum you can go is 12,000 if you earn this amount of money. You find somebody earning 40,000, the guy is at 15,000 rent. 15,000 rent. Why? They give you excuses of where I am, has a good security, you know, it is so good, you know, right now as we speak, I'm making this video at around May of 2024. So we are experiencing a lot of floods, and not only in Kenya, but globally. So I tell you, hey, the flooding thing. So you see, let me tell you one secret, guys, and allow me to just hit you with the realities. Most of the people, okay, should I say, failures, they have a lot of excuses. You tell a failure, don't do this, do the other. They tell you, no, I can't do this, I can't do the other. If you tell them, do this, don't do the other, they tell you, no, I can't do this. Now, at that particular point, you even wonder, how exactly can I help this person? When I tell you, guess what? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Then don't shake down that amount of money, 8,000 to 8,500. Go live in that place that you say it's good, it's nice, security, and all those kind of things. But at what expense? At what expense? Okay? I know you're like motivational speakers, they tell you, hey, go make more, go make more. Then how do you go make more? For example, take a case scenario of an individual who is a teacher, employed, or a HR, or you're a teller, banker, somewhere. You're employed from all the way from 8 to 5. Now, I'm telling you, go make more. And then how can you make more if you're not even saving something that you can invest? You see, there's a difference between the motivation and the reality on the ground. So, I know you're about to tell me, Joseph, how about I make more? Okay, fine. How do you make more? Let's be real. How do you make more? You want this amount of money? Then how do you make more? Say, you're saving nothing. You're actually borrowing to fund for your sustainables. Then how do you make more? Let's be real. How do you make more? Nothing. The only way you make more is you actually shake off some of the expenses that you have, bring down the cost of living. Once you bring down the cost of living, is what we call living below your average. And by the way, go check a video that I made about living, the 7 advantages or 7 benefits of living below the average. Living, no, we call it the below, below what? You know, below that amount of money that you actually, below your means, okay? Now, if you shake off, you get that 1,500. Again, you check on your utilities, check on your transport, check on other things, salvage another 1,000 bob out of 3,000, 30,000. Now you have 15 times 2, you have your 3,000. 3,000 a month. Now multiply that by 12, you have that 6, but subject that money to an investment. At least at the end of the year, you have your 40,000 somewhere. Let's say you say, 40,000 can't do me great. Let me just go another round. You put another round, that's another 40,000. Not 40,000. I know you're about to say that. Remember, the 40,000 in the previous one is subjected to a compound interest. Plus now the existing the 40,000 that you've done in this year. Probably we are talking about close to 100,000 around there. What if you were to do that just for the next 3 years? You're having yourself close to 120, 130,000. Now from that particular point, you can be like, how about I lease a land? I can lease a land. I can do some onion farming. I can do some tomato farming. I can do some, I can buy some, what do you call the cuckoos, or cuckoos are just hens and chickens if you don't understand Swahili and something. I mean, you can just jog your mind and do something that can actually make you something. Yeah, I understand it has some risk, it's true, but if you can't risk, you can't gain. That's a reality. You can decide, hey, guess what, I can put my money into an investment. But I told you one thing. When you go into the investments, they usually have low returns because they have low risks. So growing your wealth using the returns, the investments, can take a little bit of time. And if you want to hasten the process, unless now you shift towards the business, and now maybe let's say you have 120K that you've saved, you can decide to have the amount. The 60 remaining to an investment, just to make sure that at least you have a soft landing, just in case something happens on the other side. The 60 now that you have, you subject it to a business, something that can help you to grow and progress to the next level. Let me tell you one thing, guys. See, creating wealth, honestly, it has to be intentional. And I know sometimes you don't have even to look rich. For example, I don't have to come here as Good Joseph and tell you, hey, I own this, I have this, because I know some of your generation is so much used to people showing and flashing all those. Sometimes we know we can do great things. We know we can do all those things, but we deny ourselves. We know we delay the gratification. But when we burst out, you might actually be shocked. So that is exactly what you don't have to. Don't be in a business of proving anything to anybody. Just live as if you don't know what you're doing. You know, I always tell people this, yeah? It's rather you live as if you don't know what you're doing and you know, rather than living as if you know but you don't. That is exactly how you do it. And now you delay the gratification as in the progress. In a period of 5, 6, 7 to 10 years, you're going to do some of the greatest things that you never thought. And let me tell you one secret, okay? This is life when it comes to the finances. Do not ever be in a competition with somebody and you're comparing them, yourself with them in a basis that is not even arguable. It's good to make sure that you focus on yourself, grow yourself, and move to the next level. So that is exactly the formula that you're supposed to apply. Otherwise, if you go beyond this, or if you violate some of these formulas, because I always tell you guys, wealth and riches is intentional. You have to do it intentional. You have to look, you see, they say justice must not only be done, but must look to be done. Well, I'm not so much good at laws and all those kind of things, but for those who understand can get what I'm trying to say. The thing is this, wealth and riches is actually intentional. The moment I was making this video, I'm making it for it to attract views. And that's why I'm trying the best that I can, all right, to make sure that at least I can be able to hold of you and be able to watch my videos and like the videos and subscribe. It is intentional. See, if also wealth, don't just sit somewhere and expect something to just happen out of blues and be good. No, be intentional. And once you become intentional in anything and everything that you do, that will be the greatest thing that you can ever achieve in this life. And guess what? That marks the end of my video. But don't forget, I do upload a video each and every time. Make sure that you subscribe, like the video, make sure as well you comment. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, go ahead and grab that number of mine from the description of this specific video. Take it out, shoot me a call. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.